Chapter 52 is the epilogue of this holy Poti. This chapter is followed by the Avantarnika or epitome, and thus this holy Poti is concluded. In this chapter, I will first narrate the greatness of the Sadguru, then describe the meaning of the word Parayana and Sapta, then give details of how a devotee can do Parayan of the Sri Sai Satcharita at home. Also, I shall describe how Akhanda Parayan is performed at Shirdi on the first day of the religious festivals celebrated there. And I shall conclude this chapter with the Phalastuti or the rewards of it. Now I shall talk about the greatness of the Sadguru. Greatness of the Sadguru, Sri Sai Baba. We prostrate ourselves before and take refuge in that Sai Samartha who besets all animate and inanimate things in the universe, from a post to God Brahma, pots, houses, mansions, and even the sky, who pervades all creatures equally without any differentiation, to whom all devotees are alike, and who knows not honor and dishonor, like or dislike. If we remember Him and surrender to Him, He fulfills all our desires and makes us attain the goal of life. The ocean of mundane existence is very hard to cross, as waves of infatuation beat high there against the bank of bad thoughts and break down trees of fortitude. The breeze of egoism blows forcibly and makes the ocean rough and agitated. Crocodiles in the form of anger and hatred move there fearlessly. Eddies in the form of the idea of I and mine and other doubts whirl there incessantly, and innumerable fish in the form of censure, hate, and jealousy play there. Though this ocean is so fierce and terrible, Sadguru Sai is its Agasti or destroyer, and the devotee of Sai has not the least to fear for it. Our Sadguru is the boat which will safely take us across this ocean. Now we do Shashtang Namaskar to Sai Baba and, holding his feet, make the following prayer for the public. Let not our mind wander and desire anything except Thee. Let this work, the Satcharita, be in every house, and let it be studied daily to ward off calamities of those who study it regularly. I shall now talk about the wonderful meaning of doing Parayan Sapta of the Sri Sai Satcharita. Doing Parayan of the Holy Scripture for a week is unique to Maharashtra, like the Varkari Sampradaya. Of course, devotees of all the deities read holy texts, but for a Sapta, it has a format that you follow. Now, the word Parayan means that after taking a sankalpa, that is, making a resolution that you will read a particular scripture for a specific time, which entails reading of a specific number of chapters for each day of the week, and upon completion of the text with Nishkama Bhakti, that is, not doing the Sapta for fulfillment of some materialistic gain, the Udyapan ceremony is performed. In chapter 53 OV 181 to OV 191, B.V. Dev has given us a format that we can follow. How to do a Parayan. OV 181. Now I shall describe the method of Parayan and an easy way of doing a Sapta. that is, reading the book in 7 days, which is given in the Guru Charitra and other books. Making your heart pure, start the Parayan with faith and devotion, completing the reading in 1, 2, or 3 days, which will please Sai Baba. Or start a Saptah and you will acquire the wealth of accumulated merit. Sai will fulfill your heart's fond desire and the fear of worldly life will be destroyed. Begin the reading on a Thursday. After taking a bath at dawn, sit on your seat. After quickly finishing your daily rituals like Sandhya, prayers to your deity, etc., have a large beautiful mantap covered with banana leaves, kena leaves, a cloth, and decorated. Place a stool in it and draw around it colorful variety of designs with colored powder or rangoli that will please the eye. On the stool, carefully place an idol or photograph of Sai Baba, bowing to him in loving obeisance. Wrapping the book in a silk cloth and placing it in front of Sadguru, offer puja to both of them using the 5 puja articles and then begin reading the book. For the next 8 days, strictly observe the prescribed rules of conduct, that is, drink only milk or fruit or roasted grain or eat nothing during the day except once, either at night or sometime during the day. Facing the east and remembering the Sadguru's form in the mind, continue reading the book happily and with a peaceful mind. Read 8 chapters on day 1, 8 on day 2, 7 on day 3, 8 on day 4, 6 on day 5, 8 on day 6, and 7 on day 7. With such a division of chapters in that order, read for 7 days, leaving only the Avantarnika for the 8th day. On the 8th day, after completing the vow, offer Nevedya to Sai Baba and then serve a meal to the Brahmins, relatives and friends, giving appropriate dakshina to the Brahmins. Invite the Vedic Brahmins at night to get the Vedas recited loudly by them, satisfying them by offering sweetened milk to drink. In the end, making obeisance to the Sadguru's feet, the Guru should be given proper dakshina, which should be sent to the treasurer of the Shirdi Sai Baba Samsthan to add to the collection of the Samsthan. By doing so, Lord Sainath will be pleased and will give Pasaya Dan to his devotees, destroy the snake of fear of worldly life, and reveal the secret treasure of moksha. This is given in the Sri Sai Satcharita, OVs 181 to 194. Now I shall narrate how Akhanda Parayan is done on the first day of the holy festivals at Shirdi. Then narrate a Leela of the divine compassion for his devotees while the Akhanda Parayan was being performed. Some little known facts about Akhanda Parayan. In Shirdi, a day prior to the Akhanda Parayan, the devotees would submit their names, and these names are placed in a bowl. These days, they are placed in a box. Then a child or a devotee is asked to pick up 53 plus 5 chits or names. The 53 names are for the 53 chapters of the Charita, and the 5 slips or chits are the names of standbys, lest a devotee is absent or unable to read the assigned chapter. Once the 53 devotees have been assigned their respective chapters, the devotees' names and the names of the standbys are posted all over the Sansthan. Then, following the evening Aarti, the names are announced over the loudspeaker. On the day of the Parayan, early in the morning at 6 a.m., the Charitra, Baba's photograph, and the Veena are brought from the Samadhi Mandir before the Charitra and Baba's photograph are picked up. A special lalkari or salutation is given. It is Shrimant Shri Gurudev Datta. Then gulal is applied to the forehead of all the devotees in the entourage, and with much merriment the Charita is brought to the Dwarkamai. The route of the procession is from the Samadhi Mandir. It exits near the Nandi, turns right, it passes along the side of the Samadhi Mandir to the Gurusthan. In front of the Gurusthan, it stops a while, then proceeds in front of Dikshitwada. The Pad Puja or washing of the feet of the devotee carrying the Charita and the Veenakari takes place. Then Baba's photograph is garlanded and worshipped with rituals. Then the entourage passes in front of Maruti Mandir and enters the Dwarkamai. Thus a pradikshana of the holy site is also accomplished. Along the entire route, the Aarti Shidi Maje Pandharpur is sung to the accompaniment of musical instruments. The entrance of the Sanctum Sanctorum of the Dwarkamai is decorated with banana trees, which are kept on either side of a small silver shrine, where Baba's photograph will be housed during the reading. A priest has a seat on a pida, that is a low wooden stool, and the devotee who will read the chapter sits on a similar stool in front of him. The procession then enters the Sanctum Sanctorum, singing kirtans. Then again lalkari is given when Baba's photograph and the pote are placed in the shrine. Then the Aarti Shedi Maje Pandharpur is performed and the reading commences. These days the Veena is placed next to Baba's Dwarkamai portrait. In the days of yore, the Veenakari would stand near the platform of the Sabha Mandap. The devotees who were assigned the later chapters of the Charita would dance in a circle around him the entire night, singing kirtans. This beautiful ritual was called praher or vigil. These days, this ritual is not done. I have mentioned it here deliberately in the hope that Baba's history is not lost forever. However, the deeper meaning of praher or vigil is possibly that the devotee reading the Charita keeps a vigil on his Antakarna Chatushraya and keeps it from having unkind thoughts about others. Just as Baba is ever present there, and he also keeps a vigil on our Antakarna. The Parayan of the Charita is not just reading it physically, but to use it as the reference book. It is a book to live by, and this is not easy. Although it sounds very simple and easy to do, yet it is very difficult to practice it. After the devotee has read the chapter, he is offered a coconut. Then the next devotee takes his seat. Thus the completion of the Charita reading is accomplished. That night, the Dwarkamai is kept open the entire night. The next morning, the Charita, Baba's photo and Veena are taken back to the Samadhi Mandir. The entourage exits the Dwarkamai and enters through the iron gates of the Gurusthan and enters the Samadhi Mandir through the main gate. The reading of the Charita is a sort of penance, a form of worship. That place may be in any corner of the world where Baba's devotional songs are sung with faith. Wherever the chanting of his name is done and where his Leelas are told or sung, in that place is the Dwarkamai. And close by is where Shirdi lies, and without a shadow of doubt, Baba is present there, and he will definitely avert one's sorrows and sufferings. Because Baba chooses or wants to remove the sufferings, it will come to pass. What if the devotee has a great deal of accumulated bad karma from his previous life? As he has now set out on the right path, that in his journey to Shirdi, he has undertaken this difficult path of devotion because he has become pure and spiritual. He will henceforth lead a calm, serene, virtuous and ethical life, and hence his journey will be easy. Leela. This interesting Leela took place following the Akhanda Parayan of the Charita, that is, the continuous reading and completion of the Sri Sai Satcharita in one day. My friend Manjula had been regularly visiting the Sai Baba temple in Malleshwaram, Bangalore, for numerous years. She actively participated in the functions and festivals celebrated there. In the year 2013, it was decided that on Vijaya Dasami, they would perform a Akhanda Parayan of the Charita. Then they assigned Manjula to the duty of getting the devotees together and assigning them with the chapters. She called me and asked me how the Parayan was performed in Shirdi, as she wanted to follow the same format. I gave her all the details. On Vijaya Dasami day, the Akhanda Parayan took place at the Malleshwaram temple. Manjula realized that all the packets of the Udi had not been placed with meal coupons and the Dakshina, so she proceeded to do so. On the day of the Parayan, Manjula had worn a new cotton sari. The back of the sari caught on fire and she was quite unaware of it. Two devotees saw this and rushed to her aid and tried to extinguish it with their bare hands. To make a long Leela short, somehow they managed to put out the fire, but the sari was burnt beyond repair. The wonderful part of the Leela was that no one was burnt while extinguishing the fire. Manjula was calm, as she was sure that Baba was there where his Charitra was being read, and he would surely protect her and the two devotees that helped her. The other reassuring fact was that she had a packet of Udi in her hand. Udi is called Raksha or protection. Manjula then took a packet of Udi and emptied it into her mouth. To her utter surprise, it was sweet as sugar. She was then given a new sari by the temple trustee, and the reading of the Charita was completed on time. Everyone saw what happened and was astonished and questioned her how she was so calm when her mother had succumbed to burns a few years earlier. Manjula then repeated the OVs from chapter 35 of the Charita, OV 218 to 219, which state, "The path of the Charita is simple and straightforward. Wherever it is being read, there is the Dwarkamai, and Sai too is most certainly present. And so are the banks of the Godavari, and nearby is the holy land of Shirdi. There, at that very place, is Sai with his Dhuni to ward off calamities at the mere remembrance of his name. At Shirdi, they perform Samudayak Parayan in the holy month of Shravan, and this is the collective reading of the chapters for 7 days. Now, I shall narrate the Falastuti, or the reward of reading the Charita. Now, a few words about the reward that you get from the study of the work. After bathing in the sacred Godavari and after taking darshan of the Samadhi in the Samadhi Mandir in Shirdi, you should read or hear the Sat Charita. If you do this, then all the threefold afflictions will vanish. Casually thinking about the stories of Sai, you will get unconsciously interested in the spiritual life. And if you then go through the work with love, all your sins will be destroyed. If you wish to get rid of the cycle of births and deaths, read Sai's stories and remember him always, and you will get devoted to his feet. If you dive into the sea of Sai's stories, then give them out to others. You will get ever new flavor of them and save the hearers from perdition. If you go on meditating on Baba's form, it will in the course of time disappear and lean you into self-realization. It is very hard to know or realize the nature of self or Brahma. But if you approach through the Shagun Brahma, that is Sai's form, your progress will be easy. If the devotee completely surrenders himself to him, he will lose his individuality and be merged in him and be one with him as the river is in the sea. If you thus become merged with him in any of the 3 states, that is, waking, dream, sleep, you get rid of the bond of samsara. If anybody after bathing reads with love and faith and completes it within a week, his calamities will disappear. Or if he hears or reads it daily and regularly, all his dangers will be warded off. By its study, a man wishing to get wealth will get it, and a pure trader success in his life. He will get the reward according to his faith and devotion. Without these, there is no experience of any kind. If you read this respectfully, Baba will be pleased and remove your ignorance and poverty and give you knowledge, wealth and prosperity. With concentrated mind, if you read a chapter daily, it will give you unbound happiness. If you study this one book carefully, all your desires will be satisfied. And if you always remember Baba in your heart, you will easily cross Bhavsagar. By its study, the diseased and the sick will get health, the poor wealth, the mean and afflicted prosperity, and the mind will get rid of all ideas and get steadiness. This is the Falastuti. I shall complete this chapter with an OV from chapter 3. The OV is number 12. Mag jogai vade kode माझे चरित्र माझे भवाडे तयांचे मी मागे पुढे चोही कडे उभाची. And this concludes the commentary on the chapter. Om Sai Ram.